he didn't have a job or anything. He was going to give up, and because he literally got snubbed by a League One side in like 2013 or something like that.
Yeah.
So from going from those lows to becoming a Champions League winner,
it's impressive. He's 36 or 37.
Yeah,
he is 36.
36.
Who would have thought that me and Jake would be the ones to take it seriously for once?
I couldn't think of anyone. I had to just put someone down, so I put my favourite player in the world.
Favourite player in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of the Handbags, Manbags, Bumbags podcast. This week we come for episode 2 of season 2, where this week we're going to be talking all things Ballon d'Or and basically who we think should be in the World 11, essentially, for a mix of the 2021-22 season, but mainly the 2020-21 season. There's certainly a lot of players to go from, and I think us three in particular have got similar sort of teams, but there is some anomalies, and we will discuss I'll say in depth, but we'll give it a go, shall we?
Yeah.
We'll see what each of us have come up with and scrutinise where necessary and praise where necessary.
We've learned how to use our mics now as well, haven't we?
We have. Jake and Rob now know how to use their microphones because they had it set up wrong for the first 2 episodes that we've done.
Had a nice bit of training in these studios. So we thought we already know what we were on about because we obviously do the podcast in here. Had our training this week to be told that me and Jake have been speaking into the bottom of the microphone, not into the actual thing.
No, we did it on purpose.
Well, you claim you did it on purpose just so you can get the training necessary. But
yeah.
Let's just summarise what's going to be coming up on this week's episode. So, what are we going to be doing then?
Well, we're picking best 11 like they do at the Ballon d'Or. Obviously, they give the awards out and do the. Is it them that do the World 11? Is it called the World 11, or is that the FIFA Pro World 11?
That's normally the fifth Pro, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because normally Ballon d'Or is just the men's player of the year.
Yeah,
and the female player of the year.
They changed it all up a couple of years ago, didn't they? Like they'll have it like separate now, and like there's just like the Ballon d'Or, and then there's like FIFA Player of the Year or whatever. It's all
then they have the individual UEFA awards as
they
well.
Always do that. They always do that at the end of the season.
Draw.
Yeah. Which drags it out to at least an hour plus.
Yeah, it makes the group stage draw about an hour and a half because halfway through they just come out and give out an award to a player when they could just go through the whole thing.
Exactly. But coming up on this week's episode, we're going to be diving into basically who we think is going to be in the World 11, who we pick in our World 11s. Going to be some differences in general. But also at the end of the episode we are going to pick who we think will get the Ballon d'Or award, but also who we'd want to get the Ballon d'Or award, because the stats are suggesting that there could be they're interesting to say the least. Let's just put it that way.
I said definitely my pick is not going to be the same as who I think
is
going to win it.
But anyway, let's get on to things then. And where should we start? Should we start from the attack and work backwards? Because I feel like we're all going to have similar sort of players.
Don't know. Up to you.
Well, I'm making an executive decision then. We should start with the defence because I think that's going to have more of a topic point, isn't it? Because we're all going to have different players. So, starting, in terms of formations, what are we going to be working with? Because I'm going to be working with a 3-4-3.
Mine is closest to 3-5-2. I just want to
just to clarify, these formations are here just for the sake of it. Half the players aren't actually playing in the position they would normally.
That's what I was about to say.
My team in an actual game would get absolutely battered.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Ben told us when he told us to come up with these. He didn't specify there had to be a feasible 11 that could line up properly. No. So we've just whacked in 11 players we think deserve to be there.
That's acceptable. I mean, we did that when we did those predictions with the players outside of the top 6 from the 06-07 season all the way to 11-12.
Yeah.
They weren't specifically in positions and stuff.
No.
But hey ho, let's move on to it, and we'll start with the goalkeeper and back 3. Or Jake, have you got back 4 or back 3?
Back 3. I've gone for a 3-2-5.
Okay, fair enough.
3-2-5.
Hey, very attacking this.
At least keep it to a regular formation.
No, mate.
Just let him do what he wants. Anyway, let's start with the goalkeeper and back 3 then. So, in terms of the man between the sticks for me, he is a Champions League winner, and he's started this season incredibly well for Chelsea. Edouard Mendy. for me.
Yep, same for me.
Yeah, same here.
I mean, it was a toss-up between him and Donnarumma for me, but I just feel like Edouard Mendy's been a standout player in that Chelsea team, and he's also solidified that back line.
Yeah, he's he's just bloody changed Chelsea totally, because with Kepa there was literally like...
So frail.
Yeah, there was no confidence in him whatsoever.
And then they've Willy Caballero as well. I mean, come on. I mean, seriously?
What was he, like 39?
Yeah.
They're still like relying on him.
Pushing 40 for sure. But
I mean, just the fact. I mean, it's only on Saturday was the last time he bailed them out, wasn't it?
I mean, it's justified for Mendy to get a place in this team because, well, since he joined Chelsea at the start of last season, he's kept 20 clean sheets already.
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty good going. And he's also got, he had a pretty good performance in the Champions League final as well, and performed well for Chelsea through the whole Champions League winning campaign.
Yeah, and he conceded 3 goals this season as well.
Exactly, it's impressive, and for someone that wasn't really out there, and Chelsea took a punt on him, really.
Yeah, well, his backstory is actually really interesting because, like, when he was 22, he was going to give up on football entirely. I'm pretty sure, like, in France, he was like on benefits or something like that because literally he didn't have a job or anything. He was going to give up, and because he literally got snubbed by a League One side in like 2013 or something like that.
Yeah.
So from going from those lows to becoming a Champions League winner, it's
impressive.
Quite
I mean,
interesting.
he came through the ranks at Rennes, really, and then it was snapped up by Lampard as a replacement for Kepa, and we know how that's worked out.
Yep.
It's been a pretty decent buy for Chelsea. I mean, the only issue is that people think he's a lot younger than he is. He is 29.
Yeah, because he had such a difficult start to his career. You think because he's almost a new name on the block, you just assume he's going to be 23, 24.
But that's the thing with goalkeepers, though. They can go that little bit longer.
Yeah.
They can go until they're about 39 or so. That's why
10 years.
Willy Caballero's still playing. But is he still playing? I don't even know anymore.
I don't know. He's probably got some sort of transfer, hasn't he?
Yeah, but we've all got Edouard Mendy as our goalkeeper, so let's move into our back threes then. I'll start with you, Jake. Who have you got in your back three?
My first name on the team sheet is Luke Shaw.
Interesting.
Maybe a bit of bias, but
potentially
the way he's turned his United career around, from like that broken leg, all the issues with Jose Mourinho, to performing week in, week out. Just he was one of our most dependable players every single week last season. So I think. I think he deserves to be.
Very, very good player, both going forward and in defence as well.
That's the thing he improved immensely was his attacking output, because that was always a thing that people were like, oh yeah, you're not good enough going forward. No. But he's certainly changed that.
Very good Euros as well.
He did have a very good Euros and scored the goal in the Euro final.
Don't bring the final up.
Well, it's a good moment for a defender, isn't it? Scoring. I mean,
it's not a good moment to then concede later on.
But that brings on to another problem. You've seen the stories about England fans potentially having a stadium ban.
Yep.
Because of the Euro final. I mean, bloody idiots. But hey, that's not what we're talking
about. It's the minority,
today.
same as everything, isn't it? There's a few people who are in it.
But it's
as
not.
We can see, so the majority of the time, as you can see from the incident at the Newcastle game at the weekend, a lot of it is positive. Obviously, the crowd drawing attention to the incident, people in the crowd crossing the stadium to come over and help.
Indeed, yeah.
It is a minority of those.
Essentially, that was the biggest story from the day, not Newcastle's takeover, which we did discuss last week, and go and watch back that episode where, well, I say we dive into what happened. We didn't have a bloody clue half the time, but that's standard for us. But yeah, Luke Shaw, good first pick, I'd say. Go through your other two then.
My second one is Antonio Rudiger.
Interesting again, the Chelsea player.
Yeah, I just think Lampard was trying to sell him. He was like, I don't know, he must have had an agenda against him. But yeah, he tried to sell him, and Tuchel brought him back in, and he has been like unbelievable. He's honestly like. He's the kind of centre back United need, because we've only kept one clean sheet in 9.
Chelsea really need to sort out his contract problem, because he is a vital part.
Yeah,
of
they
that
can't lose
back
him
line.
on a free. No, if they lose him on a free, that is a massive error.
A massive error. And talk us through your last player then in your back three. He is incredibly underrated.
Yeah, I rate him very highly. And my last one is João Cancelo.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good player again for City.
Just him going forward, like he's just unbelievable. Some of the goals he scores as a fullback are something you'd expect from like a world class winger or something.
And he's very versatile as well, because he can play left back and right back.
Yeah, and the way with how Pep plays, like they tuck inside, they become like midfielders and all sorts. He's just
I mean, you
really smart
you
player.
saw Cancelo a lot of the time last year. He was pretty much playing as a central midfielder at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that who was it? I think it was Juventus that like swapped him for
Danilo.
Yeah.
I must be City living with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that does bring me on nicely to my 3. Cancelo is my first one, plainly because he's so versatile and he's had such a good season. He was probably one of the only members of that back line of Man City who essentially played all the time. I mean, obviously Man City's back line has been rejuvenated mainly because of the arrival of Ruben Diaz, supposedly, even though I think he's heavily overrated.
Agreed.
But Cancelo is probably one of the main people in there, and because he can play both left and right back, he's so versatile, and he's still fairly young as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's only in his mid-20s, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
So
he's still got
definitely a big miss.
Still got years to come.
In the Euros to Portugal as
Yeah.
well. Part of the reason why their tournament ended so quickly was due to his positive COVID test. I mean, he had to miss everything and pull out of the squad.
Yeah. So my second player in my back line is Marquinhos. I mean, interesting one, I must say, because PSG are not really known for their defensive prowess. They're more.
No, but he had an incredible season last
He did
year.
have an incredible season. And PSG are more known for going forward with the likes of Mbappe and Neymar and stuff, and obviously now Lionel Messi.
Yep.
But Marquinhos is certainly a player that stands out in that back line. I mean, they've certainly strengthened this summer, bringing in Hakimi.
Yeah.
And they've got Kimpembe playing well again, but I feel like Marquinhos is one of the main reasons why.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, versatility, quite often used as a defensive midfielder.
Exactly.
Particularly when they have injuries. So somebody like Marco Verratti, who's made out of glass and can't keep a consistent. Well, he can keep a consistent run because he plays incredibly, but gets injured very often. So they obviously both games against City, I think he was incredible despite. Even though obviously we know what happened with PSG, they lost their heads, sort of bookings left, right and centre.
Yes, indeed.
He's the man for the big occasion as well. 2 years in a row, semi-final he scored.
He is, yeah. My final player, I mean, if I'm going to be brutally honest, I couldn't really think of another defender, so I just put Phil Barsley down. Ballon d'Or nominee, must surely. I mean, the way he plays in our cup games for Burnley is just elite because we always get knocked out.
Yeah. Sounds like a league.
Yeah.
Because without Barsley, it'd just be curtains for us. So
surely there's curtains already though if you're getting knocked out.
No. Well, Phil Barsley should be a Ballon d'Or nominee.
When was the last time he actually played football?
The Rochdale League Cup game, and that's his only appearance this season so far. That's all. Unless Lowton was injured at points last year, he wouldn't have played unless it was the cup. But
how old is he now? He's got to be
I think he's 37.
Getting on a bit, isn't he? Surely.
I think he's 30. He's 36 or 37.
Yeah, he is 36.
36.
Yeah. Who would have thought that me and Jake would be the ones to take it seriously for once?
I couldn't think of anyone. I had to just put someone down, so I put my favourite player in the world.
Favourite player in the world.
Phil Barsley, just his ultimate doesn't give a toss attitude.
I think the best thing he's ever done in his career was that knockout
Moving
video of Rooney.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, that video where he's
that's the most. If you say Phil Barsley, it's the first thing you think of, that Rooney knockout video. You don't even think of his
moving
career.
to Burnley was the best part of his career because him as a player just sums up Burnley, really.
True, yeah.
But that's my stupid one out the way. The rest of it is serious.
It's a good thing we don't advertise as a professional podcast, isn't it?
Well, as professional as we can be.
We're actually trying to do the Ballon d'Or World 11. We're just waffling on about Phil Barsley.
Yeah, and you ruining my outro every single week, which I presume is going to happen at the back end of this episode.
So I'll just
depending on how long we're time-wise, because you made me ruin it last week. So let's stop waffling on and get Rob to tell us his back three.
Well, some of mine, I've had my work saved here because two of mine have come up already.
Cancelo and Marquinhos, I'm guessing.
No, Luke Shaw and Marquinhos.
Luke Shaw and Marquinhos.
Luke Shaw, because he can play centre-back.
Yes.
As much as we said people are out of position, he has quite often played as the left centre-back
he has,
for United. So Luke Shaw's on the left. Then we've got Marquinhos in the middle for the reason, obviously, I jumped in a lot when you were just saying of his season because I'm very adamant that he should have been in there. And then I've gone with somebody you mentioned earlier, who you said is overrated but still world class, in Ruben Diaz, because of the impact he had on the City defence. One of those
I understand that because he's pretty much helped change Man City's back line essentially and made them a lot more solid.
Yeah.
But I still think he's overrated because he has got mistakes in him.
He was horrendous when Liverpool played City a few weeks back.
The thing is, I actually don't think he has actually changed much in the City back line. I'm pretty sure that they conceded maybe 4 goals more.
Yeah. Well, potentially.
Or 4 less
to be honest,
than the season before.
You've only got to look at his individual stats, though.
The biggest positive of Man City's back line is actually getting John Stones playing well again.
then just to drop him again for the court.
But I think that's one of the main positives that Manchester City did last year. They've now got options at centre back because they managed to get Stones playing well again.
That's the thing. I know Laporte had an injury, I think, but the fact that he was on the bench most of last season was baffling because he was. Maybe 18 months ago.
How much did they spend on him? 60-odd million?
Yeah, he was regarded as top 2 centre-backs alongside Van Dijk, and then all of a sudden he just gets dropped. I found it a bit odd.
Pep roulette again.
Yeah, it is a bit weird, but...
Then he changed nationality to Spanish, and now he's Pep's favourite player.
Yeah, exactly. He's back in the team.
It's bizarre, but...
When I packed him on FIFA the other day, I was so confused. I was just like, wait, then I forgot. I remembered that he plays for Spain now.
It's typical as well. So switch his nationality from France to Spain to then lose to France in the Nations League final.
Absolutely. But
But so Diaz, though, you just look at his stats individually. He may be overrated.
Yeah,
he may not be everything that he's been hyped up to be, but he's still an incredible defender. Look at the stats.
Yeah.
And obviously his impact, it did have a difference as well. And we were discussing before we came on air, thinking of players to put in. You look at the City team, you feel like you've got to have City players in there because the year they had last year. But who consistently played to a top level week in, week out?
Cancelo and Diaz, essentially.
It was Cancelo, Diaz and Gundogan were the main three.
Yeah.
So I had to get one of them in and I went with Diaz.
It's fair enough.
I guess the only thing I don't like is that people like talking about him like he's the second coming of prime Maldini or something like that.
Didn't he win Young Player of the Year last year? Or something like that.
No, Phil Foden.
Was it Phil Foden?
I think we spoke about on the podcast. I think he was my pick for Player of the Year and Young Player of the Year. If he doesn't win it, he ended up getting neither for Foden and De Bruyne, who he arguably outperformed in my opinion.
Yeah.
But De Bruyne had quite a quiet season by his standards last year.
But obviously, I suppose if they were voted for, when they're voted for by the PFA, obviously ex-pros know more than we do, don't they?
Yeah, it was Phil Foden, the Premier League Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year. But I feel like Diaz was nominated for something.
Yeah, he was nominated for both.
Was he?
Yeah, because I remember saying I'll back him to win Player of the Year, if not Young. Surely he's got at least Young Player. But
fair enough. Well,
continuing. That's the other thing as well. We say his young age as well. That's the other factor.
Yeah, really good. But carrying on with the topic of Man City, I mean, it does bring me nicely into my midfield actually. Because we were just having the topic about De Bruyne. I mean, I have put him in my team of the season.
Disgusting behaviour.
Just because he's so good.
I'm disappointed.
Surely you want Gundogan if you
I was tempted by Foden.
I'm pretty sure De Bruyne only had 3 open play goals last season.
Yeah. Surely if you're going for a City central midfielder for last year, you go Ilkay Gundogan, surely.
Gundogan's not consistently getting in the team now. De Bruyne is a player where...
Is he not injured?
He's not now.
Is he not?
He was back on the bench on Saturday.
No, he's only now coming back though, isn't he? He's
but then again, it's the way Man City play now. They're playing Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, and Rodri as their midfield
Bernardo
three.
Silva has come back.
He's come of age all of a sudden.
He had a brilliant season a couple of years back, then had a dip off, and now he's back to where he was.
Yeah. But in terms of De Bruyne, he's just one of those players that you'd assume first name on the team sheet almost.
That's the thing. He's got such a status now. If he doesn't play well, he's still regarded as that was absolutely brilliant. He could not score for 6 weeks, and people were like, De Bruyne, best player in the league.
I must say he's good, but again, I think Diaz is a bit overrated at times.
Don't know.
No,
I think he is because last season he was. How has he won the Premier League Player of the Year last season? I know they won the league, but he wasn't even top 3 City players last season. Genuinely, not even top 3 players.
But at the same time, like I said, the fact that it's obviously the PFA is voted for by players and loads of ex-pros. When you ask them the question, either on Sky Sports or TalkSport or wherever, people that have played the game to a high level were all saying De Bruyne, whereas as fans we were sitting there going, he's not even City's best player. So obviously, it's potentially something you know from playing in the game, as they all have, to appreciate it on another level, because it's not going to be a fraud of a result or anything if consistently every top ex-player was saying De Bruyne.
It is an interesting one with De Bruyne because he does split a lot of players, because like you said, ex-pros think he's brilliant, but then a lot of fans, like you said, he's not quite there. But it's a split decision, and it's something we can discuss at a later date. But he is in my team plainly because of the fact he is that good. I mean, he might not have played that much, but it's just
like I said, he's in your team and not mine. I was the one fighting his corner.
Yeah, exactly. But then again, I'll continue with the other three in my midfield, because I'm playing 4. So De Bruyne is obviously 1. Joshua Kimmich.
In mine as well.
Absolutely solid defensive midfielder.
Somehow not nominated in the top 30 for Ballon d'Or.
Bizarre.
Obviously, the midfielders who got in have obviously played incredibly well. Like So Barella at Inter Milan, for example.
Quality.
Incredible year, great Euros, all-round top performance, really coming of age as a player because he's still only 24 or whatever. Needed a season to adapt. Well, so he needed a few months to adapt, after he signed. And then he's starting to find form now. But Kimmich, just look at the stats comparison between the two. Kimmich has a far superior year. Obviously, take nothing away from Barella, but Kimmich had to be in over him.
Yeah, the way he's being converted from a fullback to a defensive midfielder.
He's still putting back there, and he'd be top 3 right backs in the world.
Yeah, that's how good he is. He's like top 3 in 2 positions, like comfortably top 3 as well.
He's exactly like Philip Lahm.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, he's literally going to be a Bayern for his career.
You saw it coming through in the earlier stages, at the latter stages of Lahm's career, when you could see Kimmich was kind of being tipped to be his successor, and he's definitely done that. Incredible numbers he
Right, we do need to start speeding this up a bit because we've got 10 minutes. So the other two I've got are Bruno Fernandes and Salah.
Yep, I have
Salah because I think he's the best player in the world right now, or up there.
It's between him and Benzema for me at the moment.
And Bruno because he was single-handedly Man United's best player last season.
I've also got Kimmich. I've also got Bruno Fernandes because 28 goals.
He's gone under the radar because of Ronaldo's arrival.
That's the thing. Bruno was so far clear of De Bruyne last season. I won't have it any other way because he just was.
Individual numbers last season. Individual numbers of midfielders. Bruno is not even close to anybody else.
No. Yeah, 28 goals as a midfielder. Yeah. Even if you take his penalties away, he was still the top scoring midfielder in Europe by a long way.
So he's in mine as well, as is Salah, as we said. Yeah,
but because of my formation, Salah's an attacker. But I'll just drop him back into midfield because he's
the key with Salah as well is because obviously you look at the season Liverpool had last year with injuries.
A lot of injuries. He was still a standout player.
He's still got close to his regular numbers at the points when Mane was massively dropped off. Firmino struggled to even get in the team.
Jota was injured.
So he was consistently hitting his usual numbers.
Exactly.
Which is a sign of an incredible player.
But it shows how much of an incredible team Burnley are this season because they're the only Premier League team Salah's not done anything against. So let's just put that out there. So
my other person in my midfield, technically as a wing back in my system, is Hakimi.
Yeah.
Obviously earned himself a £60 million move to
PSG.
To PSG, obviously signed to Inter from Madrid is where I was getting that from. Great, not helped them on key player on their way to the title. Would have liked to see more of him in Europe, but obviously Inter stumbled in their group and then stumbled in the Europa League after that. But he's incredibly well earned his move, and then straight away I think he got an assist about 5 minutes into his debut at PSG or something like that.
Quite probably.
And now in this God squad that they're assembling on their way to the Champions League, he'll definitely be a key player with how brilliant he is going forward.
Yeah.
And defensively.
Yeah. Jake, have you got any more in your midfield that you'd like to put forward?
No, I've just got 4 attackers left now.
4 attackers. Okay, let's move on to them.
5 attackers.
Let's move on to them quickly then, because we've got about just under 8 minutes. So, in terms of my front 3, they're all strikers.
I think we've all got 3 of the same here, so this will be quite quick.
This could be quite quick. I mean, the 3 strikers I've got are Haaland, Lewandowski and Benzema.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, same here. Haaland, because I think since he joined Dortmund, it's 69 goals and 69 games.
It's insane statistics.
Just look at his numbers for 30 seconds, and that's justified.
It is mind-boggling. Lewandowski, he needs no introduction. He's been one of the best players in the world for 4 years now.
Mm-hmm. Robbed the Ballon d'Or last year as well by cancelling the ceremony.
Scumbagged out of it.
Yeah, that was disgraceful. And Benzema. This season he's gone up another level.
It's like Rob said, it's between him and Salah for being the best player in the world right now.
I always rated Benzema so highly, but this season he's just gone to another level.
Next level.
How he manages to get better.
Yeah, with his
every
age,
season as he gets older is
he's
unbelievable.
He's 34 in a couple of months. Yeah, and he's probably playing the best football of his entire career.
He's single-handedly carrying the league, and now Messi's left as well.
Yep.
Yeah, he's back for France as well, bagging goals, left, right and centre.
Obviously, he's been at this sort of standard for years.
He
has.
In
fact, it shows you the step up that France have made the effort to go and get him back out of, get him back in the squad after his incident years back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I've got one final person, which was Ronaldo, because
you're a United
boring
fan.
sod.
Well, no, top Serie A scorer, carried that dire Juventus squad. That was such an awful squad, and top scorer in the Euros as well. For below par Portugal, so
I can back it, but it's not for me. It does say something that none of us have got Mbappe, Neymar, Ronaldo. Well, you've got Ronaldo or Messi.
Messi was close, but I just couldn't find a spot for him.
Yeah, his start at PSG is being very underwhelming.
If he'd continued his Barcelona form in his first few months at PSG, he'd have been in instead of one of Salah and Hakimi probably.
Probably Hakimi, I'd have said.
I don't know if he'd be really. I don't know if he's really a wing back. Well, I'd have stuck him there anyway. Yeah. So why not?
But yeah,
I've got Salah on the other side, so I might as well.
They are our teams then. Pretty mixed. I mean, in the last 5 minutes, let's just summarise who we think's going to win the Ballon d'Or and who we'd want to win the Ballon d'Or.
Straight away, some of the favourites aren't in our sides
exactly,
as well.
The bookies are suggesting Jorginho and Kante are up there.
Yeah, neither of them got in.
Messi as well is also suggested. I just got some weird feeling it will be Jorginho.
Yeah, I think it. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, incredible Champions League winning, Euro winning was a key member in both sides. But if you put it into context, I was saying before we started, that period of 2008 to 2012 where Spain dominated in international football and Barcelona dominated the domestic football, both in Europe and in their own leagues, Sergio Busquets never got close to a top 5. Yep. And his numbers are far superior to Jorginho's, and he was winning the same trophies Jorginho's doing now.
Busquets is criminally underrated because of the position he plays in.
That's
essentially why Kimmich isn't in this Ballon d'Or.
So you look at Jorginho's numbers. Obviously, they're really good, or he wouldn't be in there. But Busquets is a decade ago a far superior, and he wouldn't even debate. He'd struggle top 10, let alone top 5. And Jorginho is one of the favourites to win it.
Yeah, it is interesting. But if you did have to pick one, who do you think will win it?
I think we'll win. I think it probably is going to be Jorginho or maybe just Messi, because it always seems to be Messi or Ronaldo if they're up there.
I think it'll be Jorginho. It just has that kind of Modric vibe about it again this year.
Modric vibe. Yeah.
I mean, a Champions League winner, it makes sense, but
that's the thing.
If Modric won it for coming second in the World Cup, Jorginho will get it for winning the Euros.
Runner-up in the World Cup and won the Champions League. Jorginho's done the same, but won an international trophy. So. Yeah,
interesting. I think we're all agreed on Jorginho then. But who do you think? Well, who would you have liked to have won it? For me personally,
Lewandowski.
For me personally, it would be between one of them 3 strikers.
Yeah, Lewandowski, purely because he was robbed beyond belief last year.
Yeah. And his numbers and he's improved his numbers again.
The fact is, they played more than enough football for him to still win the Ballon d'Or. And they just decided to cancel it.
The fact that Bayern didn't win the Champions League this year and they did last year will be why he misses out. Hence why people like Kimmich, say last year they would have been straight in if they had the ceremony because Bayern won the Champions League, and that's just what they do.
Yeah.
They just go through the Bayern squad and go, yep, you're all right, you're in.
Exactly.
So I think they've gone very Euros heavy.
Oh, yeah.
This obviously the likes of... I'm not trying to say they had a poor season, the likes of Barella. I think he's another one who's very underrated for what he does, but... You just got to look at the comparison in stats between him and Kimmich, and then he's in there because Italy won the Euros.
Yeah.
If Germany beat England and progressed further, it would have been Kimmich, without a shadow of a doubt. So they've kind of looked at the international sides and gone, oh, they were rubbish in the Euros, and they didn't play well there, even though he was playing right back in the Euros as well.
Yeah, the thing is with
didn't have a good Euros. He's not good enough.
Lewandowski broke the Bundesliga goal scoring record last season. This season he's got 15 goals in 11 games. He's not slowing down. And the thing is, Bayern Munich would have probably won the Champions League again if he wasn't injured during that. I think it was quarter-final against PSG.
Yeah,
Bayern absolutely battered them the entire time, both legs, and just the fact that they didn't have Lewandowski was the reason that they didn't go through.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But for me personally, it'd be one of my 3 strikers, either Haaland, Lewandowski or Benzema, because the stats that them 3 are producing in general, it's just absolutely
it has
insane.
To be Lewandowski for me, if nothing else.
I'd also agree with Lewandowski as well.
If nothing else, give it to someone else and give him it for last year.
Exactly. It's weird. It was a weird one from FIFA last year.
It wasn't even a contest last year. It was had to be him. Nobody else.
Hands down.
Was it 6 trophies? It was 48 goals. Just incredible numbers.
Hands down,
incredible.
Sublime numbers from Robert Lewandowski.
Yeah,
the Polish magician.
That's the thing. He's 33 as well. Benzema's 34 soon. Lewandowski's 33, and these guys are still
The seems if he'd have gone to Blackburn Rovers.
Yeah, that bloody volcano.
Damn Iceland volcano.
God damn it, Iceland.
Yeah, but the fact that these older players are still producing incredible numbers.
It's credit to them. Yeah. Credit to them. Ronaldo, and credit to the managers for sticking with them as well.
Yeah, even Messi's 34 now. Ronaldo's 37 in a few months. These guys are still putting up absolutely unbelievable numbers, and it's just testament to how good they are.
Well, it brings us onto consensus for once that we've all actually agreed on something.
Incredible is that Blackburn thing. To think the player he is now, that he was going to move to work under Sam Allardyce.
Yep. But anyway,
at the peak, when he was
somewhere
that young
in an
striker
ulterior universe, he is literally he's like 33 now, and he's playing for
Chris
Wood. Anyway, that does bring this week's episode to an end. We are short for time, so let's bring this episode to an end. We have agreed on something for once, which makes a change.
Rarity.
It is a rarity, so let's bring this to an end. Thank you very much for listening, and we shall see you next week for some more brilliant content. Adios, folks.
Cheers, bye.
Didn't ruin the outro this time.
True.
Bye.